Hey, welcome back. Today, we're talking about what it looks like to bring CEO energy into your personal life. Because here's the thing, you're not just a CEO of your business, you're also the CEO of your life. And how you lead at home matters just as much as how you lead at work. Let's talk about it.
Ever wonder what it really takes to build a business and a life that feels like yours? Welcome to That Big CEO Energy. I'm Callie, entrepreneur, operations whiz, and your go to for the real, raw, and unfiltered side of business and life. Because let's be honest, entrepreneurship isn't just about strategy and success, it's about figuring out who you are in the messy middle, trying new things, well, just because you can, and creating a life that actually fits you. From solo deep dives to candid convos with powerhouse business owners, we're talking all about the highs and the lows and the why did no one warn me about this moments that come while chasing big dreams. So let's get uncomfortable, embrace the chaos, and make it happen.
Here's what I see happen all the time. We show up as leaders in our businesses, we set boundaries, we make clear decisions, right? We hold ourselves to high standards. And then we go home and we abandon all of that. And maybe it's flipped for you. Maybe you've got home under wraps and in your business, it's just a big old mess. But usually at home, we say yes to things we don't want to do. We let people cross our boundaries, whether that's family, friends, strangers, even organizations that we're a part of, volunteer situations, right? We don't prioritize rest and we let our personal lives run us instead of leading them. And we do this because somewhere along the way, we started believing that leadership is something that we only do at work, not something we are. But the truth is, you can't be a strong leader in your business if you're not leading your own life. And one of the things that really has helped me, I think, in this transition of sort of owning my life and driving that is my business is a well-oiled machine. Now, I have worked really, really hard to get the help that I need. She's incredible, by the way. And I am having so much fun in my business. My clients are incredible. And I also, right, go to another job. And so I had to get really, really good at my time management. And what happened is, like, my house just started falling apart. Yes, I have cleaners that come in once a month and deep clean. Like, that is such a blessing to me. But I couldn't ever get in a rhythm of like cleaning my house. And like, my house is not dirty by any means, but it's like, we have pets. And so, like, you have to vacuum every day. And sometimes that gets missed, right? And so, one of the things that I had to get super clear on is understanding, like, what energy do I have to give to my household? And what are the things that I need to delegate or ask for help on? And my husband is incredible. Like, anytime people complain about their spouses, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't get on that bandwagon with you. And I recognize how blessed I am because that is not everybody's case. So when I started to ask for help and really name what it is very specifically that I need help with, most of it was because I was too prideful to let it go in the first place. And it really triggered this thought in me, actually, that, and I'm now like ruminating on it now and want to share it with you, is that, you see on social media all the time, like, I shouldn't have to ask my husband for help. And that is something that I would say to him. And they should know exactly what we need and they should be able to see it and all the things. And To some degree, yes, because most of the time, these men that we are getting inside of our lives have been single before, right? Like they know how to take care of themselves. They know how to take care of a household because they at some point have had to care for themselves, right? Like in typical situations, that is the scenario. But what I find fascinating is I would take on very specific things and do very specific things. One, because I think low key, I thought nobody else does it the way that I do it. And so why would I ask for help when, like, that's my job to do it because it needs to be done this certain way? When the reality of the situation is, as long as it flipping gets done, you guys, it doesn't matter who does it, how it gets to the end result. If it's done, it's done, right? It's the same as if we're at work. If you utilize a system, there are at least 3 to 5 different ways that people will do things differently. And even so, like even where I work now, like my leader would say, "Oh, that's a different way of doing that." Right? So, but it yields the same result. And so this was pride. This was pride showing up in my life. This was ego showing up in my life because nobody can do it better. And what was happening is it then was infiltrating on our household, on things that need to get done, but they weren't getting done because A, I was running out of time, B, I was running out on fumes. And so because I was bitter and never said to someone, "Oh yeah, go ahead and do that. Please, yes, help me," when help was being offered, it never got done. So then it just started to dismantle on the back end, right? And that's leading. In my business, I'm really, really good at delegating. I have a wonderful team member that if I tell her to do something, I have created all the SOPs and the processes on the back end. She knows exactly how to do it, how I need it done. Like we are so in sync. But on the back end of my house, I was struggling to get there because I was being too prideful. So I just wanted to take that tangent and talk about that. Because most of the time, right, you can't be a strong leader in your business if you're not leading your own life. Because one or the other or both is eventually going to start to dismantle, right? So, what does it mean to even lead your life the way that you lead your business? And for me, it means I set boundaries around my time, my energy, and my capacity. And not only do I set the boundaries, I honor them, right? If we have a full packed weekend and something needs to go, then I say to my husband, something needs to go, or we need to bump it to this weekend. And we have a discussion around that, right? If you don't have a partner and you're a single person, then you get to make the executive decision on your own to say, like, I'm not doing that, and let whoever know, right? Because you're making decisions based on your values, not on what everyone else wants from you. I've started to prioritize rest, just like I've prioritized a strategy in my business or even having a strategy session with a client, right? We prioritize those things. But in my life, rest comes the priority and moving my body. That is a priority for me. That is a non-negotiable. That is something that I enjoy doing. And that is something that brings me peace. And so I don't give that up. And so maybe it also means that I'm delegating, automating, and eliminating tasks where it drains me. And so I've mentioned a few things, but I'll give you a few more. One is the house cleaners. I mentioned that. They come and once a month and do a deep clean. That helps me immensely because it's like all the nooks and crannies, right? Like the stove, the fridge, like all of the stuff that just takes an absorbent amount of time. They come once a month and do that. And that makes me super, super happy. And then in between, right, I do like the toilets and the counters and, dust once a week and try and keep up with the dog hair and like all the stuff and things, right? So there's that. I delegated the deep clean. I've automated the dog and cat food and the cat litter because I am not, I'm sorry. I'm not making another stop at the pet store. I'm not doing it. And some people will hem and haw and be like, oh, well, listen, automated services are there for a reason. Use them. They have created these things that have come out of COVID that are still rocking and rolling. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to feel guilty for using them. I'm just not. If you want to feel guilt and shame, and if you want to make another stop at the pet store, you do you. That is great for you. But I'm not doing that. And so it comes through Chewy. And it's great. And it's awesome. And when I had my horse, I did that for her food too, and it got delivered right to the barn, right? Like that is one mental thing that I can check off. I do make a Costco trip like once every 2 weeks, right? So we go once every 2 weeks to Costco. We go to the grocery store every Friday, usually like after I get out of work, right? So like we have routines, we have automations that are put in place where even if you are physically doing the thing, the automation is there of like every Friday at this time, I'm doing this. I'm ordering this every time, right? Like, and I'm sorry, I still use Amazon. Like, that's just what it is. It's easy, it's efficient. I try and shop local for most things. But the reality of the situation, you guys, is I also live in a sort of expensive town. So as much as I would love to support local people, I do as best I can. Some of it isn't feasible because I don't have time outside of prioritizing rest and movement of my body to do those things. And that's okay for me. At some point in my life, I'm going to have all the time in the world to be able to go downtown and support local shops and do those things, right? But I can't feel guilty about it right now. And you shouldn't either. Elimination. What have I eliminated? I have eliminated tasks as picking up dog poop. Like that is the most simple one. We have a community group on Facebook, and oftentimes like in the spring, like when all the snow is melting, for those people that live in four season states, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We have landmines, you guys, landmines. And so most of the time there are kids or community groups that post on there, if you want your dog poop picked up, we're happy to come and do that. I will happily pay you, donate money to whoever if I don't have to pick up the dog poop in my yard. I will happily do that, right? Like time is money, you guys. And I think that's what it comes down to is time is money. How much money are you expending by you going and doing that thing, right? Because in my business, I have figured out what I can delegate, what I can eliminate off of my plate and move to my team. And I have worked out how much money that actually saves me from me doing the work, right? Because I'm the most expensive person in my business. I realize that. And you probably are too. So if I'm the most expensive person in my business and I am doing XYZ, which is maybe like admin tasks, that is not profitable for my business. I am making no money off of those things. Matter of fact, I'm losing money. So if I can transfer it to someone that I am paying hours for and they are doing those things, then why wouldn't I do the same thing in my household? Right? So I hope that you're sort of putting together the correlation, because it is very important to look at all facets of your life, not just in your business, but in your personal life, and say, what can I delegate, automate, or eliminate that drains me, or that I am spending more time that it's worth on? right? It's the same thing as like doing DIY projects. You guys, I am not doing DIY projects. Our house needs to be repainted. And guess what? Guess what I'm going to do when it comes time where I actually feel like I want to paint it? I'm not painting it. Absolutely not. I'm going to hire somebody to come and paint it. Why? Because time is money. And yes, I may pay a little bit more for them to come in and do it in 2 days, weekends, multiple weeks, multiple, maybe even years to get to the point where my whole entire house is repainted the way that I would like it. How much time slash money did I actually waste? Right? So getting really good at the numbers as compared to time is super, super helpful, not just in your business, but also for your personal life. Because then when you look at all of those things, what you've delegated, what you've automated, the things that you've eliminated, you can start saying yes or no to things that align or don't align, even if they're quote unquote good opportunities, right? But your CEO energy at home means that you're not just reacting to life, you're actively leading it. And when I have a partner who is my husband, we get to sit down and make those decisions together. Like, for instance, I'll just give you another example and then we can move on. So he has a Harley, right? Beautiful bike. We love taking it out in the summertime. And there are some things that he needed to not get repaired, but like it needs new tires, right? And an oil change or a 3-hole change and like some other things. Oh, he wanted to get like a new radio. He is fully capable of doing all of those things. He knows how to do them. He can do those things. And he was given an opportunity from a local shop, a local Harley. They're not necessarily a dealer, but they are sort of, to get like a certain percentage off if he had them do the work now. So after we hemmed and hawed, again, it came back to like time. Does my husband have time to do that? The short answer is no. The longer answer is no, because he works a full-time job. He drives 2 hours there and back. He has 2 days on the weekends that, I mean, we love each other, so we like to spend time together, right? Like, it just was a no-brainer of, okay, then we need to have them do it. And it's also a really good price. So that is one of those things that we are actively leading our life because we can do small things that are quick leading things in our life that get us a quick result. And some of the things just need to be delegated. Like, you just need to be like, yeah, no, I don't have time for that. It goes to someone else. And the more and more and more that you do that, either with your partner or with yourself, the easier it becomes and the less guilt that you feel, because then you have white space. You have time in your day to read the books that have been sitting on your shelves, right? To journal more, to do whatever it is that you want to be doing that you just keep putting off. So let's get specific. Where does the CEO energy show up outside of work? I'm just going to give you a quick list. Your schedule, right? You protect your personal time the way that you protect your work time. We just talked about all of that. You don't need to let other people's urgency dictate your calendar. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. Your relationships, right? Just like I said before, I needed to communicate my needs clearly. So do you. You don't expect people to read your mind, and you don't tolerate disrespect or boundary violations, including from your family. Your rest, right? You treat rest as a non-negotiable. You treat sitting on your couch or sitting in your corner, reading a good book as a non-negotiable. And it's not something that you earn or squeeze in when everything else is done. That is your time. Your home. Maybe you create systems, right? Like I talk about the dog poop and the dog food and whatever, but we've created systems and rhythms that support you instead of draining you, right? You're intentional about how you spend your energy and money and your health. You show up for yourself the way that you show up for your clients. You keep the commitments to make your own well-being. So one of these areas has got to be something where you were just triggered and you're like, ooh, that is the area that I really need to work on. Maybe it's your schedule, maybe it's your relationships, prioritizing rest, your home, your health, right? Like these 5 things. Pick that one thing that you are just going to start weeding. If it's your schedule, go through your schedule for the next 2 weeks. What can you start saying no to? Call them right now. Pause. I will be here. Come back. Send the text and say, I know I signed up for this thing. I'm no longer available. My apologies. Right? Like that is it. That is all you need to say. Maybe it's your relationships, right? Maybe you need to delegate more and let your husband or partner step up as a leader in the home also and give them part of what your ego was holding on to. Here's why this is so challenging, is we've been taught that putting ourselves first is selfish, that rest is lazy, that boundaries are cold, that leadership at home means being controlling or rigid. But that's not what this is about, right? Like my husband leads our household in many, many ways. But I also have to be a good steward of his leadership and also help him be the leader. And it's not me being controlling or being rigid. It's me letting go of my ego. CEO energy at home is not about control. It's about being a steward. It's about taking responsibility of your own life instead of just letting it happen to you. And here's why it matters. You cannot lead a business sustainably if your personal life is in utter, total chaos. You can't. If you're not resting, you'll burn out. If you're not setting boundaries, you'll resent every single person around you. And if you're not leading your own life, how do you then tell other people to start leading theirs? You'll end up exhausted, overwhelmed, and wondering why nothing feels aligned, why every day is so hard. So, how do you actually start to lead your life? How do you bring CEO energy into your personal life? And I just have 5 quick things for you. Number 1 is probably my most important. Treat yourself like your most important client. If you wouldn't cancel on a client, don't cancel on yourself. If you wouldn't let a client disrespect your boundaries, don't let anyone else do that either. Number 2 is audit your personal commitments. Just like you'd audit your business offers, audit what you're saying yes to in your personal life. What's draining you? What can you let go of? How can you make your life more easeful? Can you put the paper plates even on a subscription, right? It's like something so simple. Number 3 is set boundaries without guilt. You don't owe everyone access to you. Let me say that again. You don't owe everyone access to you. You're allowed to protect your time, your energy, and most importantly, your peace. But it comes with number 4, where you're building rhythms, not just routine, right? CEO energy at home isn't about rigid schedules. It's about creating sustainable rhythms that support you. This ebb and flow, right? Sort of like this beautiful cadence. When we think of a conductor of music, right? There's this flow that happens. And number 5, stop waiting for permission. Stop looking around, wondering who's going to save you, because at the end of the day, nobody is. If my husband, if something were to happen to him tomorrow, I need to know exactly how to lead my house. And I can only do that by being a steward and not being in control of all of the time, because If I'm in control all the time, I don't give myself rest to be able to worry about me and what I need, right? And so you don't need anyone's approval to lead your own life. You are the CEO. Start acting like it. Here's what I want you to remember. If you take nothing else away from this, you're not just the CEO of your business, you're the CEO of your entire life. And how you lead at home, how you prioritize rest, how you set boundaries and make decisions matters just as much as how you lead at work. So if you've been compartmentalizing your leadership, if you've been showing up strong at work but letting your personal life ruin you, I want to invite you to stop, to extend maybe that same level of intentionality, care, and leadership into every area of your life. Like just try it for the next 2 weeks. Be a steward and not a control freak. Be soft, but don't let it give way to the point where you are just being run over. You can be soft and you can have boundaries. And the people that get it, get it. The people that don't are the ones that will start to fall away. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Thanks for being here. If this resonated or someone needs to hear this too, maybe you pop over the link in their text message and just be like, hey girl, thought of you. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.
Hey friend, thanks for hanging out with me today. If something in this episode clicked for you, I want you to shoot me a DM over on Instagram. The link is in the show notes. Let's chat about how you're making the messy middle work for you. If you loved what you heard, would you mind sharing this episode with a friend who needs to hear it too? And drop a quick review if you don't mind. It helps get the word out, and I appreciate it more than you know. Catch you in the next one.